What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling fantastic today, especially if it's your birthday. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the best, Cancer. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We were in for an amazing journey, and I hope you're all just enjoying the birthday season. We got a couple more weeks here, so just live it up, Cancer. Relax, indulge, just like treat yourself. But with this with this energy, Cancer, this channel are for those of you who have Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, wherever, Cancer. This one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old moon. Yeah, this is about to be a thing for a minute, Cancer. And if you missed it, this is an obsidian moon. Love it. Rhonda, we're about to get into some shenanigans. But we'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void of course, all of the lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals. Feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And how could it not, Cancer? Because the moon is in Taurus. I may have to get her like a hat or something for every time the sun. Ooh, that's a good idea, Cancer. With the moon being in Taurus. You may notice that you start thinking about more. Thank you. May start focusing on your security, Cancer, whether that be financial, emotional, spiritual. Taurus is one of the main things about security, having that solid foundation, just keep just working on like your self-esteem. But this also too, Cancer, you may notice that your senses are a little bit heightened because, Taurus is also a sign of the five senses. So, you may want to while we're in this energy, enjoy cooking yourself a home-cooked meal, or maybe getting out amongst some flowers, or just out in nature in general. Maybe we're listening to put some like, I don't know, Cancer, maybe some like ambient music on, maybe like some rain sounds, or look at you, Cancer, get all zen. And this is a great energy too, Cancer, to tap into that artistic side of yourself too, because Venus deals with art, beauty, aesthetics, and Taurus being as sensual as they are, you take those senses and couple it with our emotional senses. That's why we get along so well. And something to know too, Cancer, the moon is exalted in Taurus, so it's after us, she loves kicking it with Taurus, so we got a great one. Venus loves kicking in our house, so a lot of lovely energy here to work with, Cancer. And actually this would be really nice too, considering we're in the last quarter. This, I like that they call it the third quarter too, but yeah, we're going to the last quarter phase here. But this is a card. This is a phase of really kind of letting go. Really kind of getting in that reflective type of state. Take any kind of responsibilities for the growth that we've had, Cancer, both the wins and the successes, and figure out, clear out any kind of emotional and physical clutter as well. Tying up loose ends and thinking about what we're going to do for this upcoming lunar cycle. Are you going to, are we still keeping the same thing, making some tweaks? Do we need to just solidify? Are we starting something new? What does that look like, Cancer? So really great time for doing some self-care too. And, just kind of ease up, kind of ease on your, kind of like wind down before we got to pick back up again, Cancer. And then the last few things. These readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. Excuse me, but also down below are some links for some other readings that I like, Cancer, so check them out. Really great group. I enjoy watching them, so hopefully you will too. Let's get your general energy of the day here. And Cancer, I love when you sing it with the energies, because you got Venus rules over Taurus, and you got her other sign that she rules, the 8th card of Libra's here, which is an interesting card. This is the Blinders card, Cancer. And with this card, this is a card of victim mentality, interesting, confusion, tunnel vision, resist clarity, confirmation bias, restrictions, narrow focus, echo chamber, denial, oblivious, out of touch, hyper focus, and concentration. So the first energy that's coming through here, Cancer, is the victim mentality, and that's very interesting. I feel that this energy is, you know, when we get through a lot of challenges, Cancer, whether this be through people, through situations, experiences, you know, whatever this is looking like, when it feels like that things are just like kind of out of our control, it can get to this place where it can feel like that, where we are the victim in the sense of just like that. Especially I feel like when we get into like just like, you know, maybe some kind of tougher aspects or just like kind of just tougher life situations and things, and you can get to the state sometime where it's just like, because I get where there are times when I'll say, you know, just like everything is happening. You'll hear a lot of, I feel like a lot of readers say this. It's just like, you know, things are happening for a reason and divine timing and things along those lines. And where, yes, you know, I do believe that that is true, but that doesn't take away from the suck of it sometimes. And it can, you know, it can get you in a low vibration and really get you tested to where those scales do get tipped. And then think about the Taurus energy. Your sense, your self-esteem is down. Your sense of security just throws everything just out of whack here. And but I do feel like that there is, because it's talking about the confusion energy is popping up as well. But I feel like it's more so the confusion of of thinking that things are where, because you know I like saying this, Cancer, where it may feel like that things our situations may be out of our control. But I actually was listening to there's this workout group that I've been watching since the beginning. They've really kind of grown since I've been watching for like about 8 years by Fitness Blender, and one of their trainers on their free site, by the way, Cancer, and one of the trainers on there, Kelly, she was talking about it's kind of something similar in the sense of like, you know, may not be able to control external situations, but doing little things like she was saying, you know, like working out, you know, moving the body, eating healthy. She didn't quite go into that depth, but I'm gonna pick up from that. Eating healthy, focusing on self care, you know, just kind of figuring out, checking in with yourself. Those little things set you up for success so that even when we're in a low, it's not as low as opposed to when, I don't know, like when we get kind of caught up in the state of like, you know, this, when we feed into the energy of the sense of like, how do I want to put this? It's seeing that duality when we get in those situations, Cancer, you know, and there's, because where I get, it feels easier, I feel like almost to just kind of be in the, just like in that kind of like down energy, you know, that sort of just like, you know, everything sucks, you know, like this is, I see this is just going to be the tone for a while, you know, like whatever, just I really kind of get fixed in the way here. But I feel like it's tipping that scale, Cancer. I feel with those blinders, if we it's that energy of, I feel like it's like once you've, because listen, when a situation happens, I don't expect, you know, to be just like unfazed, you know, like that's the whole point of this journey, is to see what ways that we can grow. But I feel like once we've had a chance to process it, it's, do we want to stay in that energy, or do we want to figure out, once we felt this thing, how do we get to this state of getting back into balancing, and how do we take action to get these, to see a bigger picture as opposed to just like focusing on just like the problem, you know, instead of taking that off to see, you know, what solutions may be around. Because we may be, because I feel like, oh, I think with these blinders, Cancer, I think though they put them on these horses to keep them from like to kind of spooking the horse here. So it's like, I feel that even it just thinking about and I think I said this in the reading for you not too long ago, where it's like even like trying to avoid that fear, but you know, just thinking to the opposite of Venus, you know, the Empress, you have the Emperor who, and I feel like Venus, the Empress does this too. You know, they use fear as fuel. You know, they use that as a motivator to grow, to see, to get, to just expand their focus. I mean, let's get some tarot on this Cancer. Get some more details. This is interesting. Let's see how we can work with this energy. Cancer, let's see what we got here. Cancer, you sync up with the energies in a way that's unreal. So you got the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, the Star card, and then here's Taurus, the Hierophant, Cancer. And so I feel like, Cancer, one thing that I will say, like when we get this, just thinking with this victim mentality, when we get in situations like tower moments, hanged mans, things along those lines, this is an energy for you to pause for a second, to tune into your senses, to be very present in those situations. I feel like Taurians, they're considered the slowest sign of the zodiac, but I feel like that's because they're taking their time. You like when you have the senses, you know, to have when you, it's just like how emotional we are, Cancer, but just like on the different end, you know, when you're stimulated by this realm here, you need to pause and really kind of take in what's happening, just like how we need to sometimes reflect, you know, to find out what emotions we may have picked up. And I feel like with the Hierophant and the Ace of Cups combo here, it's again, it's pausing and kind of finding center again when we do get in this state of kind of feeling disconnected with your higher self, you know, or feeling that this is, that life is trying to keep you from getting new opportunities or from getting ahead or anything along those lines, Cancer, because really these challenges and things, they are creating opportunities. They're creating for you to really kind of invest in and take chances here to really kind of manifest. I feel like, you know, what would bring you inner peace here. You know, I love this Ace of Cups, like how she's just like really kind of hyper focused on what would bring her peace. Both of them, both the Star and this Ace of Cups here. It's like we're being very intentional with this energy where it's like, okay, I'm in this tower moment right now and I feel this kind of way and it's going to take this kind of healing for me. I need to do some stuff to maybe need to go start maybe getting a little more sleep, or maybe need to slow down with things, you know. It's like I really feel like it's creating yourself this really kind of zen space, or like finding, if we can't, if we're not in that space at the time, let's say this happens somewhere outside of your home or something along those lines, it's how can we even create like that internal calm to bring us down until we can be in a place to kind of express this a little bit more, to really kind of be with it, and then find that balance again, and find the growth from this overflow, from this like maybe overflow of emotions that you might be happening here, Cancer. Because I like this cup too. You see how this cup's dripping, and then you got these plants growing out here, the little cats enjoying it. So I really feel like too, Cancer, just seeing how she's kind of manifesting from the earth to the ground here. It's like that's almost like how, because our thoughts are powerful, Cancer, and that's for everyone, and you know, feelings as well. But I feel like for us in particular, you know, feeling to the degree that we do, we're powerful manifestors, Cancer. And if you feel this energy of disarray and chaos and confusion and victims and, you know, things along those lines, then that's what's going to attract. You know, that's going to slow down the abundance drastically. You know what I mean? It's not going to stop it from coming, but it's just going to make it a little bit harder to see how we can get to it, Cancer. And then I feel like the more that we feed into that, the more that it narrows our perspective here. So just as it makes sense, you know, once you've had a moment to really process this stuff, it's thinking about, okay, I felt this way. It's just like, how do I get out of this feeling? More. And what do I learn from it? You know, that's the biggest thing. I feel that sometimes too we can get in this place where we try to rush through lessons and things, and just like kind of like it's not that we're ignoring the lesson, but it's just like we're just maybe it's like shortcutting or something along those lines, where it's just like it's really being with it at whatever pace that makes sense for you. Maybe you're ones you do get through it fairly fast and, you know, process the stuff. And then others, you know, you might need to take a little bit longer. But I feel like it's just making sure, too, that we find our pace, and that we are, you know, dealing, you know, processing this stuff properly, Cancer. But, okay, let's see what are going to be some challenges in working with this energy. All right, look at that Wheel of Fortune. I'll dig that, Cancer. Well, not as a challenge, but I mean, as the solution. Hold on, Cancer. Let's get the rest of your cards. Thank you. So you got the Wheel of Fortune here, the Two of Wands. Ooh, the King of Wands. Look at that good old Sun. And then we have the Ace of Wands here, Cancer. And so some challenges that may be coming for you, Cancer. I feel like this little 3 cards here are pretty powerful. It's just that taking that first step, taking action. And I feel like it's that state when it's just like we've had the time to feel and process this thing how we need to. It's just like, how do we get that wheel turning again? What does normalcy and happiness look like again? How do we get to that sense of resonance? But I do feel like it's King of Wands coming up with a game plan, figuring out, just kind of getting a deep understanding of how this has affected your journey, how this changed your energy, what what actions need to be taken, because where it can feel like, when you think about like the more kind of negative aspects of the sun, it's kind of hard to see the sun in a negative light, because even when it feels like when it's absent, then that means that's what we're on the hunt for. Then that means that gives us a focus. It's just like to find that happiness, to really hone in on that. And I feel like the sun too, it's shining a light on, I feel like it's putting, and I hope you know what I mean by this, Cancer. I feel like that the sun shines a truth on the fact that when the card before the sun is the moon, which is the only thing that we're missing between the star and the sun. Here's the moon. And the moon is the illusions that we can tell ourselves, or that we may even believe that others have told us, that we've adopted as a truth. And the sun shows us that you are in charge of this thing, Cancer, that you create your destiny. And how we work with these energies, it's, you're in more control than you think. But it's believing that, Cancer, not even just believing, it's knowing that, Cancer, and learning that how when we do get caught up in a spiral, or if you just find yourself just kind of stuck in a cycle, it's just like, how do we get that wheel back on track? How do we get the chariot back in line and get that thing moving? And that's interesting, even that now that I said that about the moon missing between the star and the sun here. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier, when it feels like that maybe for some it's like we might be skipping over something, like trying just to kind of like put on that face. It's just like it almost feels like a fake it till you make it, but not in it feels forced, Cancer, whatever this energy is, like another challenge is like trying to force yourself to be good when you're not. Like, I'm not sure, Cancer, like, and that's something too. It's okay to get caught off guard sometimes, by life. It's it's all part of the growth, but it's going to bring you happiness in the long run, Cancer. I'm with that. Let's get some advice from Venus. Let's see what Venus got to say. All right, Cancer, last couple cards here. So you got the 5 of Cups, and then you have the 7 of Cups here, Cancer. And then let's switch back over, because this is interesting, Cancer. I feel like some advice is, I feel that sometimes when we do get caught in that spiral, when we stay in it for a while, if it feels like that we get caught in things for a longer time than we felt is necessary, it's just like, well, how couldn't we have seen that sooner? it does get into this place of, so for example, Cancer, there's a time that I could have definitely used a lot of the information that I have now way back then. I feel like that's a nice little story to indulge in sometimes, but where, yeah, would I've done things a lot differently, of course, but at the same time, the fact that I feel like the fact that when we get to that place where we can say that in the present, that already shows that like this stuff, this is why this stuff happens for a reason, or like this, it, these situations here, I feel like provide us with like a multitude of perspectives. It really kind of broadens our horizon. We can go, it's like at first, just even think with the sun, this can kind of deal with like that childlike energy. It's like, as a kid, we have such beliefs, like everything is like, this is it. And then it's like, as we grow, we learn so much more about ourselves. And this energy feels like that it's where, sure, maybe things could have gone a little bit faster, but it happened the way that it happened because there was something that was needed there, Cancer. And it's going to, if anything, these situations, if they don't teach you anything else, they teach you compassion, because someone else will be going through a similar situation. And then when you get eyes on that, you can maybe help, you might be able to help expedite the process a little bit, Cancer. That might be what that is too. Maybe this is not you, Cancer. Maybe might be someone that we're trying to help them get them to sunlight, but maybe there's, Seven of Cups can also deal with like escapism. So maybe there's some stuff where it's just like there's a lot of distractions or things just trying to, again, like kind of forcing that sunlight. But I feel like either way it does that Cancer, that compassion, that empathy, that's what makes you such an excellent healer and nurturer. Just to have that emotional wisdom, that King of Cups type of energy, that's powerful. And it can go a long way. And that type of energy, giving out that type of generous energy and wanting that need or that want to just like kind of like, I'm not sure, Cancer, to broaden others' perspectives or to help bring on a sense of clarity here. Putting that abundance out there really brings that back tenfold, you know what I mean? And that's where I feel like even too with this combination, because the sun is the sun and then the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. There's like this stuff, these situations here, seeing from these different perspectives, it's an expansion of yourself, of who you are. So I like that, Cancer. I'm gonna leave that there. So if you like that, or if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. Share this, Cancer, if we know someone who may be, just maybe kind of get stuck from time, because Cancer, it happens, and that's another thing too. Again, be kind to yourself, and when it does happen, because it does happen from time to time. But then I feel like the states that we stay in it get shorter and shorter and shorter as we start getting eyes on it, start getting really kind of learning ourselves and things. So really powerful stuff here, Cancer. But yeah, share this stuff, and then subscribe, hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each day. And I'm on this meditation app. While you're doing meditation app with the Hierophant here, on this meditation app Insight Timer. And that might be something too, Cancer, actually. Well, I'll mention that in a second. But I'm on this meditation app Insight Timer, and I started a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. And once the group starts growing, I'm going to start doing different guided meditations and things along those lines, binaural beats, healing, oh God, I already said that one. The guy, all that stuff, Cancer. Like maybe finding sunlight with the. I'm still spitballing, or abundance with the Wheel of Fortune here. This is not my best spitballing session. We'll talk later. all of you. But go check that out, Cancer. And then lastly, check your, since you got your sun here, check your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, your Jupiter, Cancer. And then go check out my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do videos Monday through, or I do videos weekly there. Well, that'd be aggressive. But no, I do videos weekly there with different themes, and it's a good old time. All the housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Cancer. So I can get you out of here. I was just thinking, I'm surprised that she didn't show up. And I hate I didn't say anything, because here's the Empress. I love that, Cancer. And seriously, you got Venus, you got Taurus. And this is, I feel like, is a reminder, Cancer. I'm going to get your Oracle card in a second, but this is a reminder, I feel like, that things do always turn out okay. You know, we can get through the other end of this stuff. There are some I feel like there are some things in life where they can throw us for a loop at first. You know, we get caught up in it. But they're there to make us empresses, you know, and let me get your Oracle card, Cancer. I love that. I love that. And that was another thing I was going to mention, Cancer. It's just like, there's this, I feel like this need with the Hierophant and the star, like, just again to kind of connect with your energies, to, you know, connect with your higher self, do some meditation, maybe go for, you know, I'm all about going for a nature walk, maybe going by the beach. Just something here to really kind of tap into that, just to find that center again. Go avoid a course for a minute there, Cancer. Let me get your Oracle card here. Let's see what we got here, Cancer. Love it. And then you got the 52nd card, the Lemon Balm card, Cancer upright, which is the nurturer. And this is ruled by Ceres and good old Jupiter here. And I feel like with this nurture card, Cancer, you know, really, this combination here, nurture and Empress, be kind to yourself if this is something that's resonating with you. If you find yourself in a funk and, you know, get kind of caught up in it sometimes, because we feel a lot, Cancer. We feel intensely, and, you know, it makes sense, you know, but it's being with that process, because sometimes we may just be feeling stuff just cause, you know what I mean, and then that could exacerbate an existing, like a past problem that we may have even put off here, Cancer. But there's something here that's either needs nurturing, and if this is someone that we're maybe helping with, I will say make sure to be mindful of your energy, you know, to take care of yourself as well. But there's an energy of even just like, and not that you already know this, Cancer, but I feel like being, you know, showing that compassion with others, you know, remembering that empathy, even their manness. I'm not saying that we're putting up with any sort of like abuse or anything, Cancer, or but it's, I really feel like it's really being in that motherly energy. If we're like in that sense of that let's say, for example, you know, you get up in a situation and you make a mistake. It's just like, didn't I tell you that was gonna happen? Mm-hmm. What did we learn? Come here. let me cook you some dinner. Let's talk about it. You know, like that kind of space, creating that safe environment, because that's what Cancerians do best. You know, we associate with the 4th house, keeping that roots, that foundation. So work that energy there, Empress. I'm with it. I'm so with it. So I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. But you stay safe out there. You intuitive manifester. That's what's up. I love when you sync up with the energies, and keep eyes on the moon, Cancer. Absolutely. I think I just saw her. I did just see her not too long ago, like a couple of days ago. I haven't had a chance to see her out the window here recently, so we're gonna have to fix that. But keep eyes on the moon. Maybe do some meditation under the moon. Ooh, that might be something. Cancer, let's do some meditation under the moonlight. You know, maybe next full moon. And I will get you on the next one. Later. Oh, wait. Tomorrow.